Because
Under terms on
when I were talking about it, I had to
amendments.
start tearing up a little bit. I was like,
Wouldn't that be awful? All those folks that are
that's a cool deal.
on Medicare.
I said, I'll let him know. No. I'm like, when are you ever gonna see him? He wanted to run into you, you know.
Okay. Yes. I gotta make sure. Go through my checklist here.
How you doing here?
I just left the connection open as much as
Old phones, I tell you what, everything hurts.
He might be
Right now,
loud.
I don't get cold, but I tell you what, today. Ready to roll? Go ahead.
Council workshop meeting, Monday, December 2nd, 2024, 6 PM. Bear,
Here.
Briggs, Coulter,
Here.
Heidrich,
Here.
Holtmeyer,
Here.
Patke,
Here.
Reed, Wessels.
Here.
Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
Which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will all the committee members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the meeting dated November 4th, 2024? Bear,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye. Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Patke, second by Coulter to approve.
Bear.
Bear? Sorry, guys.
Bear and Coulter.
All those in favor say aye. Guys look alike.
Wow. Been called a lot of things.
Aye, but wow.
Presentations, health benefits presentation, Schreffer Insurance.
All right. Good evening, council. We are joined this evening by Scott Schrepfer, Schrepfer Insurance. He will be presenting recommendations to you this evening for our insurance renewal. Welcome, Scott. Go ahead.
Thank you, Shauna. Sorry I couldn't do that in person. Down in cold Florida doing business, so I'll be back Thursday to do the open enrollment meeting. So I'm going to share my screen here and show you the results of our hang on here. I think I am. Hold on here. Let's out of this real quick. All right. Try this one more time.
Scott, they've got the handout in front of them, so if you need to just work off of that, that's fine.
Should be able to get this out. We just had it. There we go. All right.
There you go.
All right. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Awesome. So this is our medical renewal. We're currently running at an 82% loss ratio. Last year we had a rough year. We ran at about 120% loss ratio. The insurance carriers want us to run at about 80. So Anthem lost roughly 600 grand on us last year. And this year they're doing a little better. They're about where they want us to be. Their initial renewal started at 18%, which wasn't reflective of how we are currently running. They're trying to make up for last year's losses. So we were able to get them down to 13%. United Healthcare came in at 12% above current, but we were able to get a different plan design with an 80% co-insurance that came in at 8% below current with very minimal risk to us. I'll get to that in a second. And it came in at 15% and Cigna declined to quote us. So this was our renewal from Anthem, what our current was and what the renewal was. They were asking for a $194,000 increase. That obviously was not acceptable. So this is United Healthcare and what we're recommending. So we can actually save $122,000 to negative 8%. We'll be increasing our risk a little bit as we're going. You can see the red down here at 80% instead of 100% on our co-insurance. We only anticipate about $25,000 to $30,000 in exposure there for a difference of, $122,000 over current, and if you take what they're asking for, it's better than a $300,000 difference from our renewal. So, you can see our other changes down here below in red. Our primary care physician's actually gonna go down to $15 from $20, and our, specialists will go up a little bit depending on, which one you see. Our urgent care is gonna go down $25, and our, ER will stay the same because of our HRA. So that is what we're recommending, is this negative 8%, $122,000 savings over current. Again, we expect about a 30,000 at most, in, additional exposure. And the savings on that's gonna be about 300,000. So, our recommendation is to go with United Healthcare. We'll be able to continue to fund that deductible down to 0 for the employees and have 100% paid after that. So this would be a return to, our negative or our past, rate pass, renewal. So, we had last year we had our second increase in 8 years, and so we're getting most of that back. So we're still 16% lower on our rates than we were in 2017, and that's with medical inflation averaging about 9.5%. So in reality, we should be double. So this is kind of where we've been since 17, and you can see our decreases: -3.5, -10, -3, +1.5, -3, rate pass. Last year we had that 9.36% increase with the rough year we had, and then we're able to drop another 8% this year. So,
Scott, is that due to claims or because you're doing a good job?
He said,
a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Our claims came down from running at 120% loss ratio, which equates to every dollar in premium that we're spending. The insurance carrier is paying out $1.20, and they want that to be about 80% or 80 cents on the dollar. So this year we were running at 82% loss ratio, which is more in line in what they want. Anthem had they had taken a bath on us last year because we had a poor year, and they were trying to get some of that back. So it wasn't representative of what we thought the market was, and United Healthcare kind of proved that out for us. So feel real good about the -8, and I feel like we need to get that 9.3% back. So we got the bulk of it back, and I think we'll be in good shape.
Scott, will you explain that 80% co-insurance? What is that?
So let's go back here and look at this. So the 80%, right now, after our $5,000 deductible, our plan pays 100% after that co-insurance. So this plan will pay 80%, we will pay 20%. So you can see our out-of-pocket risk goes to $7,150. So it's an extra $2,150 for anybody that would go over $5,000 in claims. So we've seen about 15% of our population that actually goes over that 5,000. And calculating out off our past 3 years experience, we'd only incurred about almost $27,000 in additional claims by accepting this extra 20% risk. So to save the $300,000 total from the renewal and $122 from the current, it's a good risk for the city. Did I answer that, or was I too much in the weeds?
No, I'm just looking at what that means for an individual, and I guess that on the chart, what it shows is, in the past, where they would have gone maximum 7, it could go to 7,150, is that right?
correct.
Right. So what happens for that for our city employees is we run what's called a HRA, a health reimbursement account, and that funds that back down to a zero cost for the employees. So the employees' benefits, the only changes they'll see is on those co-pays that are down in red.
So we
Okay, I got it.
self-insure that other amount, basically.
So they'll see a $5 reduction in their primary care. The specialist will be either $50 or $100. That's outcome based with United Healthcare, meaning that the better outcome and the more efficient doctors are at $50 and the less efficient are at $100. Our urgent care dropped to $25, and our ER will actually stay at $300 since we fund the deductible and the co-insurance, so the employee won't see a change there either.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Going on to our ancillary lines are all in rate lots. We have no increases there and no plan changes, so we recommend to stay with that. And that is it. That's all I've got for you.
I think the big piece, Scott, if you can talk about, it will be education for employees with the co-insurance. That's a term they have not seen. So it will be an education piece for us to make sure they understand that and don't pay before they, they're not paying that co-insurance and having to try to get it back. So we're gonna work on that Thursday with our education piece to make sure they understand that's still gonna be funded, if you all approve, by the HRA. So not to pay those amounts, just like we do now, and encourage them to wait for the EOB pay off of that and wait till you know for sure what you have to pay.
Definitely. We'll have 2 educational meetings, and we'll also record those meetings to put on our Employee Navigator site that the employees enroll on, so the spouses can access that as well. As we've learned that the spouses are normally the ones that are taking care of this.
On a lot of them.
Other questions, guys?
Other questions from council?
Thanks a lot, Scott.
No problem. We appreciate your business and love working with Shauna and Darren, and it's a pleasure for sure.
Haley?
I just want to thank Scott. Like I said, he does a tremendous job looking out for employees. He knows the level of insurance that we expect from year to year. And like I said, we don't have a problem with changing carriers. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is we're keeping it affordable for our employees, and that's a big deal to them.
Scott and his team are invaluable resources for our employees. They will stay on something and get an answer for them, and employees don't fear calling them or getting assistance. So the support that we get from Schretfer is phenomenal, and it helps make my job a lot easier, I know.
Okay. Scott does a good job. That's
He
enough.
does.
Thanks, Scott.
Shout out to Wanda, Cheryl, yeah, the whole team.
Yeah, it's neat because the employees, they can just stop by. They don't need appointments or anything. They just stop by, walk in, and they can get their stuff taken care of, and they have the comfort level of doing that. And really, that's, when they have claims and things like that, that's HIPAA Privacy Act stuff that Shauna should not be handling anyway. And she probably knows more than she cares to already on some employees, but that's what we're there for, and we try to maintain that service level for sure.
Thanks for getting our employees a great deal, Scott. I appreciate that.
All right.
Motion move on to council.
Yeah.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Bear, second by Patke to send it to council. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Scott?
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
See ya.
Report of department heads, engineering department, airport runway extension project, and budget amendment.
Good evening, council. This is a design contract with CMT for the runway extension project, which is about a 400-foot extension of the runway out there at the airport. CMT is our consultant. We have a 5-year agreement with them to be our consultant on these type of projects. They gave us a cost for about $212,000 for design and bidding services for this. As part of that, we also had to do a comparison bid through an independent party. It came in at about $280,000, so this was considerably lower, and MoDOT approved this. The grant is for this part of the $3 million grant for the whole project, so it's a 90-10% split, so the city pays 10%, so our portion is $21,000. So
You did a comparison bid?
yeah,
MoDOT
did-
requires you to
yeah,
go ahead and get another bid.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
independent firm. I should have put that in the letter, but yeah, you have to do an independent, and it came in much higher. So
Other questions?
Nope, sounds good. Thanks, Charles.
Need a motion to send it to council, guys.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Coulter. Holtmeyer. Or I'm sorry, Holtmeyer. Gosh. I go to the hearing doctor.
Actually, it was Coulter.
It was Coulter.
It doesn't matter as long as it got
I
done.
wasn't looking either. I just, just want you guys to get credit where credit's
Second by
due.
Coulter. Motion by Patke, second by Coulter. Further discussion.
I just had one quick, okay, it's a 400-foot extension of the runway,
yes,
Correct.
and how wide is that?
It would continue the same width that as it is today, 75 feet.
75?
Correct.
Okay.
The portion that I think as we've reported to you in the past, a concern that we have, cost for the total improvement of what was to be considered was over 8 million, and a lot of that had to do with the concrete that you would have to do to extend it from 75 to 100 feet wide for that entire 5,000 plus strip. So that was a large chunk of it. So that got narrowed down. So the idea was, what can we do? We didn't want to sit there and hold on to 3 million, trying to sit around and figure out if we can come up with some other funding sources, because that would take time, and by the time then you wouldn't be able to use that 3 million for what you can use it for today. So the idea was, what can we do today? And that's what you're getting with this 400-foot extension.
Runway and taxiway.
runway and taxiway.
Correct.
yes.
How thick is it?
How thick is it?
I honestly, I don't know.
I think it's 12 inches.
It's 18.
I know they've got certain size material for that you got to go ahead and use. It's not like any roadway project job.
Yeah, it's very, very specific guidelines.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
Because we've had contractors that have tried to tell us that they could do it that way. I'm like, no, you can't.
That work out.
No.
How
very
did,
specific guidelines.
how did, while we're on the airport, how did the roof, the inspections with the roof?
I can follow up with that later.
Oh, okay, all right. Thanks.
Got a motion on the floor, guys. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Charles.
Yep.
Jefferson and Main Street Sidewalk Project and Budget Amendment.
So this is for sidewalks along Main Street and Jefferson in front of Andy's new building there at the corner of Jefferson and Main. So as part of the downtown TIF, projects like that go in, the TIF is supposed to fund the infrastructure, the street, the sidewalk, curb and gutter repairs, that sort of thing. So I'm proposing to work with the developer, Understall Construction, to put in the sidewalks and curb and gutter through there. It's about $47,000 for that. Just comparing that to other unit costs for Second Street, Third Street, similar projects, it came in very close to those bids. So just work, try and get this project in, help them with their building and that, and get everything up and running in time. So.
This is an item that doesn't have to go out to bid, that we can choose the contractor because of the proximity, or?
Yes, we looked at it from the context of, like I said, the proximity, the work that's already been done by the contractor there on that block. And then I just asked Charles to go ahead and take a look at the unit cost of what we've been paying, and it was very similar, so.
Did that similarly with the other building they had on the other end of Main Street when they put in some sidewalks and curb and gutter at Olive Street, so.
So that sidewalk will just go east and tie into the existing
sidewalk in front
Correct.
of those condos, and then it'll go
South.
north to,
North, right, yeah, north
To
to. That,
where?
that entrance right there.
Okay.
that they have. Redo the brickwork at the ADA ramp and all that.
Gotcha.
Make a motion, moving on.
Second.
Motion by Holtmeyer, second by Patke. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Jefferson Street roadway and ADA compliance project, TCE.
So this is for a temporary construction easement. You can see up there, that's where it is. It's just north of 14th Street, 1305 Jefferson Street. Basically on this project, previous projects, we had actually recorded the temporary construction easements. And so they were locked into the property. Here, we just got agreements with the property owners. So in this case, the property owner sold and there's a new owner, so we just need a new agreement signed with the new property owner. So, that's kind of what this-
Motion to move to council.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Coulter. Further questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Charles.
Fire Department radio equipment purchase and budget amendment.
Always follow the tall guy. Good evening, council. How are you this evening? In your packets, you have a letter and an ordinance with a price breakout as well as a quote from Fire Department. The city received a ARPA grant from the Department of Public Safety for a cost share agreement. When we went out initially and put this grant in, I'll be honest with you, we did not think we had a chance at this grant. So when we went for it, it was a 50-50 grant, so when you can buy a radio for 50 cents on the dollar, we went for it. And we did not make the first round, but oddly on a Friday afternoon, we received notification we received a grant. So we happily took it. Chief Scornia worked on a bid with Radiocom, and that is what the bid is present. The bid that's in there is a state bid. So we did not need to go out and get additional quotes because we're on a state bid contract. This will be the same radios as we currently have in the fleet, same radios that EMA, Police Department Communications have. The only difference is our lapel microphones are specific for fire service. They're a little bit heavier duty for that. In the grant also, we put in for some repeaters. We have found those to be very beneficial. We have 3 in the fleet right now. And when we get into some dead spots, we actually had one yesterday. We had one this morning. We had a radio bonking out on Beaker Road, actually 2 on Beaker Road this past week. So those repeaters help that out if we have a dead spot somewhere. Any questions?
So 13 radios
13 portables, 1 mobile, and 4 repeaters.
and replacing some?
Adding.
Adding.
So right now, the pumpers, the engines have 5 seats. We only put 4 radios. So we went for the original radio purchase back on the capital improvement sales tax. When we looked at the monies, we realized we weren't going to be able to put one for every seating position. So we went with 4 with the pumpers. And so what this would do is get each of the captains a second radio. When we're commanding, if we send people in on a fire, under the MOSWIN agreement, we have to go off of the MOSWIN network. It needs to be MOSWIN goes through towers and computers and does the digital mojo that it does. They want radio-to-radio communication if somebody's in a life-threatening environment. So we go to a VHF channel, so those radios are talking radio-to-radio rather than radio through computer. So when we have that, our captains presently only have 1 radio with them, and they can't talk to communications and talk to the crews. So we get each of the captains another radio, and then max out what's back on the fleet, get the fleet brought up to each riding position to have a radio. Make a motion, moving on.
Second.
Motion by Holtmeyer, second by Patke. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Mayor.
Executive session, public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, or real estate matters
Did you want to
pursuant.
say that? Can we get one other thing real quick before we do that?
wasn't on the agenda, but I may not see some of you till the next council meeting. I just want to give you a heads up. Hopefully for the next council meeting, we're going to be coming to you for a replacement for one of our high lifts at the landfill. We purchased a new one about 2 years ago, and it came in at about $418,000. The one we're going to replace now, we went back out for the same bid through the Sourcewell bid program, and they're going to get us a 2025 model for the exact same dollar amount. So that came out pretty good. We budgeted 475, it came in at 418, and the John Deere we're going to replace will have over 10,000 hours by then, and we'll sell it off on Purple Wave.
Any trade-in value on the old one?
Probably will estimate over 100, maybe 200,000.
Cool.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Go ahead.
Executive session, public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, or real estate matters pursuant to section 610.021 RSMO 2000. Thayer,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Wessels.
Aye.
Your vote, we're in executive session.